Okay, we are going to participate in the Poetry March Madness Tournament. The poems that these students wrote should be about one of these titles: exploring the unknown, overcoming adversity, learning from another generation, sudden change in one's life, or people affecting the environment. Students were required to use figurative language and to be creative. The poem should not be simple, but have depth of meaning, connectivity, have emotional incitement, and impressive diction. Okay, so number your paper from 1 to 8. Here is matchup number 1. It is poem 16 titled Sleep. The darkness is brutal, just sitting there. I feel empty. Tick, 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 creak, whoosh. The sound of the dark, the sound of the silence. No thoughts, no dreams, just darkness. No sleep. Being sleep deprived is the worst thing ever. The more I try, sleep will not come. It's torture, pure torture. I finally can hit the hay. Ding, ding, ding. It's morning. No. Another night wasted as the sun rises. Another tiring day. Now, number 16 is going up against number 17, titled Last Minute. You always see those productive people and think, wow, how constructive. But to me, it seems more or so destructive. Why add more to the hours? For sometimes it feels so much like towers. As I push for the deadline, I know I could get it done, but I simply see no fun. Why do this today when I could simply do it tomorrow? But why even do that, I say? Will I be doing this for the rest of my days? Shall I work for the A's today and further pay days? If this is all in vain for my final days, what really are my goals? And for what tolls? Is the stress really worth it? Will a job and a house really mean that much to me? For all these thought, they just feel so last minute. Okay, cast your vote. Is it going to be Sleep, number 16, or Last Minute, number 17? Round 2. Up first is number 9, titled Fears. When I was a wee little boy, I would be scared to talk and only play with my toy. I met a man who said, start thinking in other way than your head. He helped me out, so then the next day I started to lightly shout. I got suspended. As my angerness extended, I was scared no more as I got kicked out the door, living on my own. I became quiet again and watched my tone. The lowest point in my life was still, I needed something in my life to fulfill. I decided to play sports, maybe on the field or maybe on the courts. So many options, what should I choose? A game I'm good and won't lose. I joined football and was good. Everyone thought wrong and I was misunderstood. I made it to college and was the best. I don't think that though, and everyone called me modest. Everyone thought I could make it to the league. They also thought I could succeed. I knew I could make it, but I was scared. I had to face my fears and switch gears. I worked harder than anybody ever. At draft night, I had a memory that I would remember forever. I was drafted first, and my first play was one I didn't rehearse. It was an interception, but luckily the play got reversed. I went on to win MVP and give a speech. I started to cry as I started to preach. And that one goes up against number 24, titled Basketball. We couldn't beat them. It was like a bridge we could not cross. We lost and lost. But when I knew it mattered, that's when we put in the most work. We practiced for days coming up for a play to beat them. And when the day finally came, we balled like Dame. We fought and fought, but we never felt caught. We knew that we could beat them, and we took them for a spin, and now we could just sit back and take the win. So that's round 2. You're going to vote for either 24 or 9. Round 3. Number 21, Cracks. My heart is fragile, see-through almost glass. Every angle you look at, an emotion appears. It's as thin as the shadow of a single hair strand. Like a vase, every time it gets knocked down, it doesn't break, just crack. The first time it got knocked down, I didn't notice. It was minor. As the cracks got larger, the more I felt I had to barricade, to build a new barrier, for one thing inside, a healing heart. So, 21 cracks goes up against number 12, titled Poem. Poems are boring. I do not want to write a poem. I would rather comb my hair. I would rather have a cut in my hand. The only thing more boring is starting a band. A poem is too bland and boring. I would probably start snoring. Poems are really that boring. Shakespeare, life's work is more boring soccer. Writing a poem is harder than having to read one. It takes 3 hours to get done. Watching the World Cup is more fun. I am finally done. So that is number 21 cracks up against number 12 poem. And round 4. Number 13, Finding Me. As a child, it was all so easy, even when some things were queasy. Growing up wasn't hard. It was kind of like pulling a card. I figured it out and had to choose, but no, I'm not talking about shoes. I settled with one and it was fine, but it didn't feel like me over time. There were probably hundreds I had, 'cause when it comes to choices, my head goes mad. When I told my friends I didn't want it to go bad, because some of their responses make me sad. It took a while, but I finally found my old self that came around. From now on, I can finally see it took a while, but I found me. And that one is going up against number 20, The Shattered Vase. The shattered vase lies on my desk, covered in tape. Its once pristine porcelain now lay crackled by unprecedented anger. The anger that once consumed me now leaves me empty. The cracks are apparent. There is no fixing or erasing the damage. Its jagged edges stick out like thorns, like the brambles of hate. It will never be the same again, no matter what I do. It's ironic, really, how the vase lies just as shattered as our hearts, our love. Despite this, I toil away at the shattered vase, piece after piece, adhesive after adhesive, shard after shard. After all, the human soul craves to be remembered by what they fix, not what they break. The vase that was broken gained an unexplainable new value, as the cracks were now lined with gold. So you have number 13, Finding Me, up against number 20, The Shattered Vase. Let's take a minute and make sure that you have your votes for matchups 1 through 4.